Oh my God, one is thirsty in the desert and what to drink but Coke.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves.
Why do we buy products? A simple answer would be, because we need them to survive. But any serious inspection of the question would show that this is not necessarily the case. We do not buy cigarettes to survive. On the contrary even. Or, why do we buy all these different styles of clothing? For why not all in uniform clothing, like in some communist countries? Why do we buy products we don't need? And why do we buy Coke?
It's a real thing. Coke is, that's the way it should be. Coca-Cola, what the world wants to see. Oh yeah, it's a real thing. Coca-Cola, that's the way it is. Fill a bottle of Coke and the way it will stay. For the taste of your life, what the world wants today. Oh yeah, it's a real thing. Coca-Cola is Coke.
We could first ask the question, what is Coke? Coke was originally designed as a medicine by a Mr. John Pemberton. And it is no surprise that Coke was first introduced as a medicine. Its strange taste does not seem to provide any particular satisfaction. It is not directly pleasing and endearing. Thus, it is not necessarily the taste nor the nutritional value that you drink it for. If you want to quench your thirst, you could just as well drink water, for example. For as we know, Coke even makes you thirstier the more you drink it. In terms of Marx, one could say that we do not drink it for the pure use value of the commodity. But then, why do we drink it? Well, again in the same line of reasoning in Marx, we can see here the connection between the concept of surplus value and surplus enjoyment. We do not drink Coke for the use value, but for that something extra. We drink it for it. Coke functions as the direct embodiment of it, of the pure surplus of enjoyment over standard satisfactions, of the mysterious and elusive X we are all after in our compulsive consumption of merchandise. It is here that we could have just as easily looked at the slogan of Coke some years ago, where they literally stated what Coke is. Coke. This is it. Thus, the only possible answer to the question what is Coke is already given in the advertisements. It is the impersonal it, the real thing, the unattainable X, the object cause of desire.
It's a real thing. Coke is, that's the way it should be. Coca-Cola, what the world wants to see. Oh yeah, a real thing. Coca-Cola, that's the way it is. Fill a bottle of Coke and the way it will stay. For the taste of your life, what the world wants today. Oh yeah, the real thing. Coca-Cola is Coke.
Okay, so Coke is it, the real thing. But then, what is this it precisely? Well, let's say for a second that you are American, and you see the commercial, America, this is Coke. It is in this case not that we taste some ideological vision of America in the Coke, but exactly the other way around. It is in this case the Coke that is the signifier for America. The crucial point to grasp is that this device, America, this is Coke, could not be inverted as Coke, this is America. It is exactly in this surplus that we attribute to the Coke that we can see in it our vision of America. We can feel pride, patriotism and hardship by drinking our Coke, even though it has nothing to do with the real properties of the signifier itself. Precisely because of this surplus X, the operation of quilting is not circular symmetrical. We cannot say that we gain nothing from it because Coke first connotes the spirit of America, and this spirit of America, the cluster of features supposed to express it, is then condensed in the Coke as its signifier, its signifying representative. What we gain from this simple inversion is precisely the surplus X, the object cause of desire, that unattainable something which is in Coke more than Coke, and which, according to the Lacanian formula, could suddenly change into excrement, into undrinkable mud. It is here that Zizek draws the parallel to the more extreme version of ideology as seen in anti-Semitism. The logic of this inversion, producing a surplus, could be made clear apropos of anti-Semitism. At first, Jew appears as a signifier connoting a cluster of supposedly affective properties. Intriguing spirit, greedy for gain, and so on. But this is not yet anti-Semitism proper. To achieve that, we must invert the relation and say, they are like that because they are Jews. This inversion seems at first sight purely tautological. We could resort, of course it is so, because Jewish means precisely greedy, intriguing, dirty. But this appearance of tautology is false. Jew, in because they are Jews, does not connote a series of affective properties. It refers again to that unattainable X, to what is in Jew more than Jew, and what Nazism tried so desperately to seize, measure, change into a positive property, enabling us to identify Jews in an objective, scientific way. Today, however, the message that is signified in Coke is not even that hidden anymore. The somewhat exciting and elusive surplus of the it is replaced by the literal objet petit a, open happiness. However, happiness in Coke is not a real property of the Coke. There is no real chemical compound that makes you feel this apparent happiness. Now, you could give the argument for the amount of sugar. And this sugar stimulates the reward system in the brain and so on, and the same for caffeine. But this line of argumentation is quickly disregarded when we see also the sugar and caffeine-free versions of Coke. And this is what Marx observed long ago. A commodity is never just a commodity. It is always the embodiment of something more, of that surplus jouissance, the objet petit a. Objet petit a is the sublime object of ideology. It serves as the phantasmatic support of ideological propositions. This access that we impose on our social reality is our ideology today. Make no mistake, we are not force-fed this ideology. It is in the absence of any will to consciously break this ideology that it emerges. Furthermore, we could today no longer do without this ideology, for ideology is the only escape from the void of the real. The function of ideology is not to offer a point of escape from our reality, but to offer us the social reality itself as an escape. And at least in buying Coke, we can buy this happiness directly at the source. And then, for a few minutes, before the Coke warms up and turns into the excremental object, before we feel the guilt of the enormous amount of sugar that we have just consumed, and before we feel this creeping void of the real setting in again, only for this short moment we are one with our jouissance, our happiness.
Keep it company. And the real thing. Keep the world sing. In perfect harmony. And I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing. What the world wants today.
Thank you for watching the video. As always, I hope that something good happens to you today, and to see you in the next video.